Good afternoon. My name is Floyd Hall. I'm the mentor and instructor of Achievers Entrepreneurial Hub, AEH, and I'm lucky enough this afternoon to have two graduates of our second cohort, Karen Thomas and Marley Thomas, her son. And we want to talk to you a little bit about their business. Karen?
My business is called Easter.
Yeah. You got introduce yourself again.
Well, Karen Thomas, as Floyd said, and I'll be the owner of Acer Market Space. Acer Market Space is I would say it's a relatively new concept here in Erie. I'm sure that this concept may exist in some other bigger cities, but it's sort of connecting or sort of pairing cafe and a fresh market.
Okay. Some a need. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Right here in the West Bay.
Okay, Mark. Introduce yourself and
All right.
tell you a bit.
Hello, Marley Thomas here. I am finding Liminal Studios. It is an independent publishing company here to, help creators of marginalized backgrounds emphasize their voices. Pretty much anybody of any background, we're open to all. And we take chances with everybody's vision. Our job is to emphasize your vision and what you want to write and how you want to write it and make it, digestible and streamlined for public access in the most effective way possible.
All right. Okay, Karen, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I have a hospitality background. I'm originally from New York City.
Okay.
I'm born and raised there. Went to college in New England. And once I got done, went back home and worked in Manhattan
Right.
in the hospitality industry. I was a employee at the Waldorf Astoria in the banquet and sales department. Learned a lot of stuff while I was there. Eventually left there and went to work at my dad's catering company. And then eventually decided that, I just needed to get out of New York. I needed to live in a place where I could enjoy space around me.
Okay.
And so decided to move out of New York. Of course, some of my inspiration was who is now my husband, who was originally from Pennsylvania, city of Pittsburgh. And so I was there in Pittsburgh working for a little while before I got married. And once we started having kids, eventually landed here in Erie. I have a hospitality background. That's what I went to college for.
Oh.
Love the industry, but wanted to be able to create the type of business that would allow me to still have a life. And
Okay.
at the time, I had 3 children, a very young one, and then 2 school age. Was one of them. So we created I partnered with my sister and her husband.
Mhm.
And we created a restaurant here in Erie, and it's been doing well for about 14 years.
Mhm.
And it's just time for me to shift gears again.
All right. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So, really young, still growing. Born in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's where my dad went to work first. Moved to Fremont, lived out in the fields. Just loved the atmosphere, quiet life. Of course, Dad moved again. We all were taken to Erie,
All right.
where I grew up.
We was blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Grew up in Erie, went to Catholic school, came out, went to Edinburgh University
Okay.
for graphic design because I had a talent for art. I went there, focused on branding, focused on book covers, which I took a huge affinity for. That was like a huge motivator for my art. Like certain subjects and formats were what drove me to create. And, after trying a whole bunch of other things, posters, website, prints, I fell on book covers. That was where I ended up doing the most of my that, and along with poster design, one of my heroes I, came across when I was studying was Leonardo Cappiello. He is known as the father of modern poster design, modern advertising. A lot of colorful, vivid figures against a black background, of black or dark, and with minimal text. So it was all about like the presentation, the mood.
And what you consider.
Yes. So I decided to combine those two loves, my love for mood and my love for books,
Mm-hmm.
and make it a business.
Okay, that's where I wanted to get to next. Out of all the businesses you could have in the world, what you're starting, why did you pick that? And, what was your thought behind it? Because I think, let me be honest, I think you'd be successful almost in anything you try to do, set your mind to do. So why did you pick that?
That's awesome for you to say. I have always had an affinity for hospitality. I'm not sure if it was because my dad owned his own hospitality business when we were growing up. My mom was a school teacher, but she also had an affinity for hospitality as well. But I think that I get so much enjoyment and satisfaction out of watching people be in spaces and enjoy themselves and have a good time and sort of connect. And those types of places are usually associated with some form of hospitality, whether it's travel and hotel or whether it's food service. And I love food.
Okay.
And all the amazing things that you can do with it. But I love real food, all those picture worthy things. I'm sure that they taste really good, but I like people to really enjoy themselves, and I like for most people to be able to have it accessible to them. So I'm somewhere right in the middle where I want to be someplace that everybody finds some level or measure of joy in a meeting and eating space.
So that's why you did. Marley, out of all the things you can do, why did you choose that you want to go in a public company instead of just graphic arts or something?
It comes down to me putting myself in my own shoes as both a creator and somebody who needs help creating, and merging the two loves. As I previously stated, I wanted to come up with a company that would have helped me in a way that would have helped my younger self. So, along with loving to write in my spare time and doing art that is motivated by narrative and imagery, combining those two things was like that. The very concept of that was very important to me.
Well, let me ask you this, Marley. Floyd said to me, I just spent 10 years writing something, and I'm thinking it's all the way 100, and then I give it to you. Do you feel apprehensive about saying, "Look, we need to edit this. You ain't quite got it down." Do you be? I mean, because you trying to get a person over that finish line, and some people can handle criticism, and some people can't. Are you apprehensive about having somebody's work trying to polish it up?
Not at all. So my job, my mission is to help you be your best self, literally.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. So is this the message that you want to put out? And I can only offer how I perceive it.
Okay.
And if it matches what your goal was, then we can move from there. Then I would ask, do you feel that there was enough emphasis on the other messages that go along with the main message? And maybe they take a closer look at something and they say, maybe that may. Again, my job is to just make sure that you present yourself in the best way possible. So I don't like the idea of just chopping away at something that I perceive does not work. I want to explore that. Why did you put that in there? Or what were like, if it didn't come across the way I reviewed it to you, what little tweaks can we do to make it get to that point? That's my job. It's just to feel out where we can, hit the mark.
Okay, and that's what helps me get into my next question. What is your business? It kind of seems simple, but it's kind of difficult. Can you bring in whole food to somebody like just a junk food junkie like me? Can you explain exactly what you have? Why I should open my eyes and, you know, I know you, so I know you putting out a quality product. But if somebody don't know it's something that's good for 'em, how do you get that message across?
So we, like I said, I have been one of the partners of a restaurant that has successfully been operating in the same neighborhood, just at the other end, for about 14 years now. And this is really an opportunity to have a space in sort of what will be it's the commercial corridor of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And it's one of the areas that is in the process of being revitalized.
Yeah.
But it's really an opportunity to offer people a choice of something better. A lot of the times, businesses move into an area and, they're really looking more to be more towards what the advantage is for them in terms of location. Well, the business that I am presently a part of now has already explored that neighborhood business can and does exist even in small towns like this. I mean, like I said, I'm from New York City and we're used to having businesses nestled in neighborhoods. But this particular business offers a meeting and greeting space, eating and greeting space for the neighborhood. And it also offers the people that are residents of the neighborhood an opportunity to have access to fresh foods that they currently don't have now. And fresh food at what would be affordable prices, accessible pricing. The intention is to try to connect with some local growers and producers to try to utilize or at least sell things that have been grown, nurtured, and grown here, within the radius of where the store will be located. When it's possible. But by all means, the ability to be able to offer fresh fruits and vegetables to people that live in the neighborhood because there are currently none there. You actually have to take a bus unless you have a car to get to them. And I think that's really important to make a urban neighborhood livable.
Okay. And you know what I think about your mentor is eating healthy. Something I don't do, but as you get a little older, you talk to a few more doctors that I had a doctor that explained this to me, Karen. He said, if you like it, probably ain't good for you. If you don't like it, it's probably very good for you. Because everything I was chopping out, I eat this terrible. I eat this terrible. I said, well, what you gonna like? And he started naming some. I said, and that's when he broke that down. So what you're trying to bring into our community is something they need, a good, safe meeting place to bring in the community to interact with each other a little bit.
Yeah, sure. There are, the neighborhood demographic is quite diverse.
Okay.
You have younger people in the neighborhood that live in the neighborhood. Some of them are students of the university. You have, middle aged or the middle age range, anywhere from the mid to late 20s,
Right.
all the way up to 70 plus years. And a lot of those people are walking, like during the course of the day, they are walking at some point in the neighborhood. I mean, I see a lot of traffic at the Family Dollar across the street from the building. But I think the thing that is most important to me, and I'm sure the neighborhood has felt the same way because the neighborhood organization did a survey. And there are a lot of people that would like to have access to fresh food. And so fresh food at an affordable price. And so I think that it's really important that there's some entity that exists that is in their neighborhood that allows them the ability to have access to those things.
So fulfilling a community need.
Sure. And at the same time, a business that is now present in a space that was once vacant, that sort of revitalize this neighborhood as well.
Now, Marley, let me ask you. You got a publishing company. Can you tell me about your business? I'm Joe Blow. Don't know nothing about your business. I'm thinking you just a print copy. I'm bringing you my little brief. All I want you is to copy. What's the difference between going to you and going to FedEx?
Okay, well, publishing could be a lot of things. Be editing, it encompasses, makeup and proofreading. Then you have distribution, which is, packaging, shipping. And then you have last one, which is what you mentioned, printing. So my job right now, we're just focused on making your message as polished as possible. So I'm more focused on the branding aspect. We're looking forward to expanding more, but there's a lot of publishing companies that work with, third parties.
Okay.
And some may do editing, some may do editing and printing, and some may do all three. And, more power to them. That means that they have gotten to a point where they can, tackle the market from all those angles. So just starting out, we're just going to focus mainly on your presentation, how your message comes forward, and, do what we can to make sure that your book is exactly how you envisioned it and more.
Well, let me ask, is it any, remember a book is an artistic form. Is it anything that could be brought to you that you would say, this ain't right for my cup? If it might be a book of this, talk about hate, maybe like a Hitler, and I'm just giving it out. Is it anything that you think that would be something that you wouldn't want your name? Okay. Or you think no matter what, you can be able to embrace it?
All right, fair question. I like to pride myself by saying we're all inclusive, and our messaging is to, encourage people to be, creative in a healthy way. Unfortunately for people who want to make those types of books, unless it's, off of observation or, presented in terms of being a cautionary tale, we stray away from, presentation of books that want to, present that message in a straight fashion. We are all about, solidarity, inclusion, and diversity. And the last thing we would want to do for our own brand is to alienate people who decide that they want to come into a place, they want to make their story, but then, they're right next to somebody who, that their whole vibe is to, preach alienation, exclusion, ostracizing. We do not, welcome that in our.
And when I'm hearing you say, and I'm gonna break it down, that you want to publish love and you don't want to spread hate.
We want to publish love, education, action, thrills. We want to, do all of that. Again, with art, you can get a whole bunch of that without trying to fixate on messages that decide that they want to ostracize a group of people. Because now you just closed a whole, group that, had their own thing to offer, that you'll never have access to that because of what just happened.
And the reason I asked that question, because when you begin put your name on the business, your product becomes your name. And, they can say, oh, look what they published. And not even really go into the content of the character. So you got to be careful of that. Both of y'all, in the process of starting out there, you have made some moves. What made you pick your location and say, okay, I'm ready to start this in 2024, not 25, not 23? Was it something that really said, okay?
Also, like I said, I'm already part of a business that has been thriving in this neighborhood.
Yes.
And I have such an affinity for this neighborhood because it reminds me so much of all the smaller neighborhoods in New York City.
Okay.
And so really just want to you know be a part of an area that is growing and is a vibrant and welcoming community for everyone. And so that's one of the reasons why it's such a strategic move for us to stay. We stay here in this neighborhood because I think it's important as the neighborhood is slowly starting to revitalize and energize the neighbors to be active and to be proud of their 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 houses and do things to help to uplift the appearance of things. I think it's really important to be able to contribute to that.
So you have the time.
Yeah, the timing is right. I mean, there's so many things happening in the neighborhood right now, and I believe that this project just adds to, in a positive way, the things that are happening.
The growth of the
Mhm.
neighborhood. But what made you decide, well, out of all your talents, to say, okay, I'm coming in, I'm gonna learn, and then I'm gonna start this publishing company? What made you decide that?
Boy, just acknowledging that I have my work cut out for me. Just starting this project. It started off as really fun, an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and just pursuing that idea and going down deeper into the rabbit hole. I just realized how vast this market is,
Mm-hmm.
and then the potential and all the directions I can go in. And I mean, decision fatigue would just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I decided that I need a little help. So here I am, talking to you, Floyd, being a great mentor,
Thank you.
being surrounded by hardworking people. Just
I really love the group.
Yeah, it's been a great group.
Tell me some of the struggles and how you overcame them so far. Some of the things that you had there. And I know you have had some struggles. And how did you overcome?
Well, I think I probably started swirling around in my head shortly after you know recovery from COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and how the mindset of people working just started to shift. So there's a lot of different things that as somebody who works in the service industry, you have to consider. People rethinking, the idea of work,
Mm-hmm.
how important it is to them, how important free time is to them, what's really important and what's not, and when you look at your lights in front of you.
Mm.
And so for me it's just recognizing that people are making these decisions or they're thinking about these things, and how do we fit in to their new mindset. People normally go out to eat, it's like an extra thing that they do. And so I think that just rethinking of food service and how, like I said before, it's a meeting and eating space. I mean, I think that no matter how technologically advanced that we get, the need for us as human beings, because it is a need for us to physically be able to connect with each other, is never going to go away. So
Correct.
how is that going to be done? And what kind of space are you going to want to curate to do that? And so that is, part of the challenge now, just thinking about how this will all, come together, as it starts to like really take shape, is one of the things that is probably foremost on my mind.
Marley, what's some of your struggles and how did you overcome?
mainly, I live a pretty simple life overall, but like a lot of my struggles just come from, just, navigating through life at the same time as making this very ambitious and still pretty fragile project.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I need to consider, a lot of like stuff I still need to learn, and just trying to learn all that and still having the confidence to keep pushing forward along with a bunch of trials that I have in my day life. It's all a balancing act that, takes quite a bit of adjusting with each shift.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me navigating and just sticking to my plans. That's like the biggest thing.
Even when you're struggling, I know that you wanted to hook up with one of the publishers. You don't, what I love about you don't let nothing defeat you. You attack that hurdle. And that's in business. You got to attack that hurdle. Because if you're going to have, no matter what, you're going to have.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if some days when everything's no problem, I say, okay, I'm overlooking something.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Tell me about some of the successes that you've had so far.
Well, like I said, I think the success has been knowing that the type of business that I'm thinking about can survive in a neighborhood, I think that is something that that is a big one. It being different from all of the other, eating places that are here, but still sort of familiar,
Unique, but
Yes.
familiar.
Yeah.
I like that. Marley, so what's some of your success?
So far, just being able to conceive the idea that I want. That's my biggest success to date so far. Just, having my LLC, having my logo underway, all this stuff. I mean, just making those connections, which, as soon as I say my ideas out loud of what I'm going to do next, every time I do so, there's always somebody who has a book idea. And it is just amazing to like understand that, like, as you meet people at their day job or just on their days off, like you say this and they have so many ideas to give and so much they want to express, people that you would not have expected, just sit down and just, process their experiences through stories. There are so many people that, are eager to, get their ideas out there. And just being able to find all of that is just, like, it drives me to, keep on pushing and,
Attack that hurdle.
yeah, keep on going through these hurdles. I don't take any of these trials for granted. Once I overcome them, like each day I move a little bit forward is a day that I'm successful.
Because it's kind of, you take 2 steps forward and 1 backwards, you say, wow, am I going anywhere? But you got to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Because those that's following, if you lose your confidence, then they totally shot. And you got naysayers. No, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. But you got to have that belief, that strength. Who or what was your inspiration, Karen, to go forward?
I would just have to say the community. It's been great living in here. And I know saying that as somebody who's a transplant. And
Me too.
yeah, but I think that we as individuals that have lived somewhere else or from somewhere else can see such possibility here, the ability to be able to present or do things that we think will help to grow Erie. So yeah, I would have to say that the inspiration has definitely been just being in the community and seeing the ability to have an option or possibilities exist to be able to do something. And as you're getting started, being hurt, that's not something that you often encounter when you're starting a business if you're in a bigger city, because there's so many people and there's so many things going on that you get drowned out. There is such competition. But when I say competition in a big city, I'm not necessarily talking about somebody that opens up as doing exactly what you're doing it, exactly the way you're doing it and causing issues for you. What I'm saying is that there's so much stuff, just like the internet. I mean, you can't, I mean, there's too much information. I mean, you could spend all night scrolling. Same thing for, you know, being in a big city doing something. I mean, you can never eat at enough places. You know, you're really just competing for the opportunity to be seen in those places where here visibility can come quick, and that's a good thing. If you're doing good things.
Marley, what was your inspiration? I think you spoke on it. I think you said one of the authors or something. What was your inspiration? Say, I'm gonna do this publish, this independent publish.
Oh, it's that Leonardo Capiello is the inspiration for a lot of my approaches to composition and art style.
Okay.
But I would say that my inspiration for like just starting the business and the business model that I want to lead comes from observing a handful of manga that's, you know, a Japanese manga artist.
Okay.
Just observing a bunch of them in Japan, as you know, you would have somebody at the top who is the main author slash illustrator, and then they would work with a team. See, making comics is all about, and mangas is all about, you know, working together. Yeah, working together, and you would see these people meet up at their studio. They would get together, work diligently, you know, have lunch breaks, and then continue to work, you know, get, you know, chapter done at the end of the week. And then after that, they would just, you know, celebrate after there's producing and submitting. They would just go out.
Building.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yep. And then celebrate as a team.
Okay.
You know, go out for drinks, dinner. And I was just like, you know, that would be awesome. But now let's like tie supporting people directly to our livelihood on top of all of that. Whether you join our team or just a client, we're here to help all artists come up with their vision, and then have a community where you can exchange ideas and opinions and critiques.
I think that would make it stronger.
Yeah.
Building a community like that.
And then just from there, just make even better projects and build up off of that.
Okay. I got a couple more questions. What advice would you pass on to others just wanting to start their business?
I would say, do what you love. That's so important, and allow yourself to start in your box and grow organically. So many times, people want to start a small business, and they're thinking more in terms of how much money they can make.
Okay.
Which that's great, because that's the purpose of wanting. I mean, you want to be able to earn, you know, and eventually make it your part of your life. But that can't be the driving force. You have to do what you love, because that's what makes whatever you do. Everybody desires it or wants to come see you, whether it's a service, whether it's a product. So you got to do what you love, and you got to do it well, and you got to be committed to it. You got to show up for it, even when it's slow, because it will pay off. People do not like inconsistency. If you're going to do something, you got to do what you say. You gotta mean it, and you gotta be a person of your word, because that's how you gain the confidence of the people who will be your customers or your clients. But most important thing, I think, is once you have identified what it is that you want to do, that you start economically in the box that you're in, as economically as possible, and allow yourself to grow organically. A lot of times we do what we love, and we start mapping it out so big, instead of starting and maybe you know, as you map it out on paper, understanding how you can start, recognizing down the line what you eventually want to evolve into. But you can't evolve into that first. You have to start and really hone what you're doing. There's going to be a lot of kinks. I mean,
Yeah.
you think you know when you started how it's going to map, the first stage is going to map out, and it never happens that way.
It's true.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you're keenly aware of the fact that there are going to be hiccups because this is the first time out of the gate. And even for people that have done things professionally, you know, that's one of the things that we consider. Like, you have to be prepared for the possibility that some things are going to happen that you don't expect.
You know, what I talked to one of your classmates earlier, and that question came up. You know, you have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hearing your advice that I really like. Be willing to give your business everything. If you're not willing to give it everything, don't start.
Right.
You might have $20,000 that you put in the business. It's gonna want that 20,000 and that 5 you didn't even think you was gonna touch. You said y'all working 8 hours, you're gonna work 16.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that commitment, that's the word I'm hearing.
Right.
You don't have that commitment. And go through the hard time.
Right.
Don't start. What advice would you have to a new person wanting to start a business? Besides coming to age.
Besides that, and really, I'm trying to think of so many things I wanted to say.
Sorry.
What I will say, all very good points, by the way. What I would say, the biggest thing is, you know, as you're doing what you love, start off small and don't be afraid. That is a big thing. I'm still having to tell myself that every single day, every single hour, every single minute, every single second, every single moment. It's very important that you just keep on going. And, you know, you may not know everything. I don't know everything. And the person next to you themselves, ones you're comparing yourselves to, they don't know everything. And they just keep going.
It's two things I hear you say on that, and you're 100% right. Number one thing I learned in college from a professor, and he said, a smart man don't know everything. A person tell you, I know it all, that just prove he a dummy. But what he said, a smart man knows what he knows, but the most important thing, he know where to go get what he don't know.
Absolutely.
Right.
And find that expert. I hear you saying that.
Absolutely.
And that's very true.
Yeah.
And confidence.
Yeah.
You'll have naysayers no matter what you can have the best plan in the world. You can have it all mapped out and I promise you gonna still have a naysayer.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And it's gonna be times when things ain't going right. You're gonna hit them naysayers. But you gotta have that confidence. That's why don't be afraid. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. But I'm keep going.
You know, there's two things that you're saying that I would chime in on too. And you said something that was really important about not being afraid. You know, there are so many people that work for other people that would never take a chance on themselves.
Correct.
It's never too late. And know this, that, you know, the security that you feel working for someone else can be easily eliminated when they decide that they want to eliminate your position or restructure the business. Now, I mean, these things happen. So if there is something that you've been dreaming about doing, don't put it off. You know, give yourself the opportunity to do it. I mean, it may be the best thing in your life that you ever did. I mean, certainly don't quit your day job if you can moonlight or do something on the side to at least get it going.
Right.
You know, you dedicate time to it, but certainly if you've had something that you have just has been churning inside of you, it's worth exploring, and you should at least try it to, you know, understand whether or not you're really as committed to it as you think you are. And then the other thing that I was going to say too, you know, you talked about naysayers. Anybody who talks to me long enough knows that I have this favorite thing that was sort of like pointed out to me as I was reading a book by Brene Brown. It was a speech that Theodore Roosevelt gave. And I say this all the time about naysayers because I remember that speech, and you have to look it up because it's online. It's called The Man in the Arena. And basically what he's talking about is that there will be people that are sitting in the arena that will watch you down there on the main floor, struggling and wrestling with whatever you're doing, getting dusty and beat up, and get up and you dust yourself off and you keep going. And the people that are sitting in the seats will always have something to say, but they're not coming down to hell. So you have to be really mindful when you're allowing people to share with you what their feelings are, about what you're doing, that you have to sort of be cautious in how you allow yourself to absorb that, because sometimes people are saying things because you'll know the people that are supporting you, and then you'll also know the ones who are saying things because their fear of doing something for themselves. They don't want to see anybody else succeed because they're not brave or bold enough or have enough courage to do it themselves. And so sometimes they want to take that away from you. And that is a very important thing that you have to remember as you decide to take the leap and do something for yourself, something that might be something that you dreamed of or you've desired to do for yourself. I mean, it takes an incredible amount of courage to take that kind of a leap, and it's also a very vulnerable kind of position to be in, because people see you struggle and they see you sometimes fail right in plain sight, but the ability to be able to recover from that is spectacular when it happens.
In business, people see the success, and it's a song that T.D. Jakes was talking to Kirk Franklin that explains that real good. And that's people when they see the success, when you done made it, and you got all the benefits of making it.
Right.
And what he said on that, he said, "See, there you go." He said, "No, I ain't let you get away. You ain't seen my struggle."
Right.
You ain't seen that struggle.
Right.
Yeah, you see the benefit, but you ain't acknowledged that struggle.
Right. They don't know what it took for you to get there. They're looking at the finished product, and now they're judging you based on where you are, but they don't understand the times that you were struggling to make payroll, when you didn't pay yourself, when you didn't go grocery shopping, when you did something else to try to figure out how to eat.
All the days because your employees didn't come.
Absolutely.
When you went from the cash washer to the dishwasher. They don't know those days.
Yep. Absolutely.
And to add to that, when you go through these trials, whether they end up in a success or a failure, what gives me comfort is acknowledging that this is all a practice. The camera is always going. There's no stopping. So when you fail, it's just, it happened. It's an adjustment. And like I said earlier, you just keep going. That is the best way how to heal from that. Failure is just another aspect of how, something may not have worked. That's all it is.
Yep.
And then when you keep going down your path, you are one step closer to getting where you need to go. You just found one way it doesn't work, one more way. So even when you're winning, that is you knowing what does work. It doesn't stop there. You can improve upon something. You can make it even more efficient. That's what drives me with my company. I want to not only make a good book, I want to make a greater book and an even greater book. That's what drives me.
And people going to judge you on your success. Not your path.
But that makes it actually irrelevant at that point, because you're so invested in yourself, your path, that it won't even matter. It won't matter. It's just like, okay, you said what you needed to say. And if it wasn't constructive, well, okay, I have a whole bunch of stuff here that shows me what I need to do.
Right.
And what I can stop doing. So,
all right. The next question, you only got two more. Where do you see your company in 3 years? It was 24, June of 27. Where do you see?
I see it thriving. I see it thriving in the neighborhood. Oh, I see people making that a regular space to like walk down and have breakfast, meet their friends, chit chat. I see people that know that they don't have what is it? They've got a tomato or something in their stuff, and so they come down to get it and know that they didn't have to walk for like 2 blocks to solve their problem. So yeah, so I see it being a real asset to the neighborhood, just like really going by that time. Yeah.
Cool. Marley, in 3 years, how about my publishing company?
in 3 years, we will be open. We will have already established ourselves, God willing, and just taking it one day at a time, just slowly easing into it. Hopefully, we have enough people on the team, get a nice group going, invite people to.
Good day.
Yeah, very good team. Just, making our own stuff on the side, but at the same time, inviting creators to come, create alongside us.
Building on that team.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, tell me about what you think in parting about AEH and your cohorts that you've been working with this 9 months.
Well, I think that up until this podcast, it has been one of Erie's best kept secrets. I think that this has facilitated a community of people that really want to not only have something to call their own, but also to create enterprises here in Erie that will not only be able to thrive and grow, but really, how do you say, contribute to the life and the growth of the Erie community. It's been a really great experience. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, but most importantly, I think that my being here has helped me to really think about all the sides of the project that I started. Of course, it's a little diversion from what I'm doing already.
Mhm.
And so the ability to be able to think about some things that I may not have thought about when I first sat down. And, it's funny because we only meet once a week. But that one time that we meet, whether we have a speaker that comes in, or whether you come in and mentor or talk to us about certain things or set up little funny scenarios about what we should or shouldn't do as a business owner, which is always funny, but always very serious when you talk about what it is what kind of mindset we should have as business owners. But I think for me, it has meant um, just taking a real long, hard look at like, is this what you want to do? How are you going to go about executing this? Like what happens if you do this? And, again, being in a room of other people that are like-minded in the sense that they want something, they want it to work, they want to have thought about it before its inception, and they want to make sure that whatever it is something that is really an asset to them. So I think that this has been a really great experience, and I certainly would encourage anybody who was thinking about starting a business that this is the best place to flesh it out. Because if you're not in it to win it, or you're not in it to like, your heart's not really in it, you'll find out now before you go anywhere else,
Right.
So I think that's really important.
What you think about it, or the cohorts group that you've been in? And y'all was lucky enough because y'all met some of the first cohort and y'all dealt with them. And now I will say this to give you some food for thought. What I really love is how y'all critique, help a person see some of the errors. And I'm gonna talk about the 450,000 marketing.
Oh my God.
And y'all help that person understand that might be a little much, right? It was done in a nice way. Or not. So the group really helps one another.
Right. So it is a very inviting and, safe place to express ideas like that. And, we'll just tell you constructively how that could go down. That's, and that to me makes a great environment that we entertain virtually anything along those lines. And just, I'm just glad that, everybody was open to my idea, because I don't see too many people doing exactly what I'm doing and with my targets and what I want to focus on at the very beginning. So this has been a very constructive and encouraging environment, allowing me to, come across those hills and those bumps and to just figure out what I ought to be doing going forward. Because, I have visions, and as soon as I say them out loud, or as soon as I put them on paper and, give it to you guys, then I start, slowing down. Paint that like, okay, so this was so great in my head, and then now it's actually being presented.
Looking at it, yeah.
Just putting up with me and bearing with me, letting me go where I need to go. Like, this has been a very, very great experience for me. It's helped me figure out exactly what I need to do to, conceive this great idea.
You know what I was thinking too is like no idea was like a bad idea.
Right.
We did have some people in the class that had similar businesses, at least 2 of them. And nobody felt like threatened by that, which is great, because there's a lot of room in this town for all of those things. And all people do those things different, But yeah, no idea was a bad idea. And certainly, like you said earlier, you don't know what you don't know, so you got to sort of like put it out there. Even the $450,000 marketing, which was funny, but you don't know. So this is the best way to like find out, it's like, for some things there's like a ratio for stuff, and for other things, it's, might be related to something else in your business, whether you need to do it or not. And it's a good place to actually say it out loud. I mean, even if you've heard it in the business sphere and never really knew exactly what it meant, it was great to say it out loud and see where that was going to take us, so it was good. And for some of us who had experiences that others did not, it was helpful to hear whatever their challenge was, so you could figure out, well, was that a good idea for you? Or like, is that a good idea for me and a bad idea for you? Sorry, yeah.
And that's the big it. And one of the things that I will take from this class, and I might speak on tomorrow night at y'all graduation, is when I came in and tried to convince y'all, as a business owner, don't pay taxes. The room they just erupted. But I had Max say, yeah, that's a good idea. And y'all quickly let Max know that ain't a good idea. So I want to thank y'all for coming out this afternoon, sharing with us. And I want you to support both businesses as they kind of grow. And Karen and Marley will come back to the podcast and give y'all a date when y'all can come in, when you want to hire some people, and how you want to go through that process yourself. They think they through with me because they graduate. They are not. I'm their mentor.
No, you're stuck with them.
I have not thought of no such thing.
I got your cell phone number. So it's over.
So we gonna graduate them tomorrow, and I'm so very proud of Cohort too. I've been bragging about them, and these are some stars from that group.
Well,
so
thank you, and thank you, and you've been like an extreme pleasure to work with, and I'm saying that like it's like past tense, but we will absolutely enjoy consistently picking your brain, because we will, and see, I know where to find you. Like I said, I got your cell phone.
Remember, y'all success is our success.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's why I'm here for you. Absolutely. So thank you very much. All right.
Thanks.